So, just like everybody else, I was super pumped and excited to see the very first episode, the pilot, the very first episode of The Last of Us, the most anticipated TV show based on a video game, this January 15th, which was yesterday, Sunday. It was premiering at 9 p.m. The first episode was When You Are Lost in the Darkness, which is 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's almost like a movie, hour and 20 minutes, like a short feature movie. For a first episode, was pretty darn good. And I was pumped. I couldn't wait. I even reactivated my HBO Max subscription to watch this, even though it's $16 a month. They have raised the price now on the HBO Max. That's if you want to watch without any interruption, without any ads. So on this video, I want to give you my honest thoughts and my honest opinion on what I think of this TV show, okay? It's really important for you to remember that I have played the original game in 2013, summer of 2013, on the PlayStation 3, and I also have played The Last of Us Part 2 in 2020, summer of 2020. And for those of you who follow me, you know that I'm very familiar with this video game. I'm very familiar with the characters. So I'm pretty much having high expectations, just like everybody else. This is a very beloved game. The character played by Pedro Pascal, it's a very beloved character. So the expectations are very high. And there are big shoes to be filled. Bella, which plays Ellie, also has a big shoes to fill in on this TV show. So the expectations are very high. And for me, yesterday, the expectations were super, super high. So let's start with the episode called When You Are Lost in the Darkness, which is 1 hour and 20 minutes. And I want to really honestly give you my honest opinion on how I feel. So first and foremost, one of the first things that I appreciated in this TV show was the fact that they started the beginning of this episode very unorthodox, very unusual. There was this one scene in the beginning of this episode, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there's something in the beginning that lasts about maybe 5 minutes or so, and it's a very interesting scene that happens in the beginning of the episode, and I'm pretty sure people will talk about it, and I will talk about it on a spoiler, but the way it's set up, the way the message is delivered, you already know where this is going. It's kind of like the message is tragic, but at the same time philosophical. It's a scientific, philosophical, tragic message. And I don't want to spoil it and tell you what I'm talking about, but when you watch the beginning of this episode, you will understand what I mean by that. Okay, because I'm trying to minimize the spoilers here as much as possible. So first thing that hit me was the way the episode is being introduced. Unlike the video game, you know, in the video game it's different. When you start the video game, you start right away with, Joel going inside a house, and Sarah, it's, sleeping, and he wakes her up, and then she sits with him on the couch with Joel, and the Joel, talks to her, and she wishes him a happy birthday, and she gives him the watch. So that's how the video game starts. There is that scene in this episode as well. It is there, but it's done differently, and it has a different approach to it. Like different perspective. What I really appreciate, the way The Last of Us first episode is being introduced, it's being introduced from a different perspective. And basically, it's like a companion to the video game, like a companionship to the video game. We learn more about Sarah, his daughter, what she likes, what her preferences are. We see how loving and caring she is, how she's saving the money to fix his watch. And we learn a little bit more about Sarah. And that's the aspect of this TV show that I really like, is stuff that they didn't show us in a video game. They are able to explore that on this TV show, because they have I don't know, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, probably 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons, to spread out, to explore more about these characters. The way Sarah is being introduced, it's pretty cool and very touching and very emotional. You're going to fall in love with her immediately, and you're going to feel the emotion. So the way it's set up, it's really done well, okay? And it's not cheesy, and it's not trying to mimic, like Halo is like desperately trying to mimic the video game. So it was done carefully, but through a different perspective, if you will. And that was great. I was really taken by that. I was like, wow, this is going off on the right direction. And then you get introduced to Joel and Tommy, and right away there's a chemistry between Joel and Sarah and Tommy, and the way they're talking to each other, it's like they're like adults. They're using the F words, saying this, saying that. They're just like talking like a bunch of adults, you know. Like Joel was not treating his daughter like some kind of a princess, spoiled princess. He drops the F-bombs, and, you know, he says all kinds of, foul language, and they're having like a fun, you know. They're basically joking when they're eating the food. They're using a lot of sarcasms when they're talking to each other at the breakfast table. Tommy, Joel, Sarah, and you can see this chemistry between Joel, Sarah, and Tommy. That is like you can feel it. Like this is one family, very tight family, right? And they're stick together. Even when Tommy calls Joel to get him bailed out from the jail, you can see just how caring they are for one another, and how much Joel really cares about his brother, and how much he cared, obviously, about his late daughter, Sarah. So the way they introduced Joel, Miller, Tommy, and Sarah, his daughter, was really done well. Especially Sarah. It really breaks your heart. When that scene comes, that very painful, ugly scene, where she gets shot. If you play the video game, she gets shot by a soldier. You just can't help yourself, but I cried. Like immediately, I start crying, immediately. And it really hit. It really got me. And I got to say something about the Pedro Pascal. I got to hand it to the guy. I was wrong about him. Just like some people were wrong about Heath Ledger when they said, "Ooh, Heath Ledger will never be able to reprise the role that Jack Nicholson did on the Joker," right? Like Heath Ledger will never be able to reprise that role that Jack Nicholson did. And well, Heath Ledger, not only did he reprise it, but he brought something of its own, and it's the best Joker ever. So I feel the same way about Pedro Pascal. He really embodied this character. I'm not sure what kind of preparations and what kind of conversations did Neil Druckmann had with Pedro Pascal, because he never played the video game. He wasn't familiar with the characters, but the way he embodied this voice and persona, you can't help but you feel that's Joel Miller. Like when I was watching this episode yesterday, I was like, I totally forgot that it was Pedro. I was like, that's Joel Miller. That's Joel Miller. And he really did a great job with his voice, his movements, his expressions. Everything was spot on Joel Miller. And then we come here to Tess. Tess also embodied. By the way, the character Tess, it's played by Anne. She was in The Fringe TV show back in 2009 called The Fringe. J.J. Abrams TV show called Fringe. Great TV show, by the way. She nailed it. Like she lives and breathes Tess. She is Tess. And you just can't help yourself but like, holy shit, that is really her. She's Tess. And then you have Bella. Bella really has nailed it. I know that they kind of kept her secret. They didn't show too much of scenes with her. But my God, the way she handles the knife, the way she handles everything, you can tell that this is Ellie. She takes no bullshit. She's a tough cookie, and she's very smart. So seeing Bella, this actress Bella, play Ellie was wow. I was like, well, let me tell you guys, every actor here should get some kind of like a Golden Globe nomination or something, because they all have embodied the characters. They all have put 100%, and it's not forced. It's not fake. It's not mimicking. It's really natural. What I'm trying to say, like on Halo, I felt the Master Chief, it's kind of forced. It's kind of like a parody. Here, nothing is forced. Here, everything feels natural. And I think this is why The Last of Us, to me, this first episode, it's very successful, honestly. When I watch Halo on the Paramount Plus, everything feels kind of like forced. It feels unnatural. Here, nothing feels unnatural. Nothing feels forced. Nothing feels phony. Everything feels natural. And you can feel that tempo going throughout the episode. So I was blown away by this first episode. That's 1 hour and 20 minutes. Everybody did a great job on this episode. Hopefully, they'll be able to keep that tempo. They'll be able to keep that momentum throughout the episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 10 episodes throughout March. I don't know, by the end of March, I think that'll be the end of the season 1. Hopefully, they can keep that momentum. But what I have experienced yesterday, I think you guys will agree. For those of you who are a fan of the video game, you will appreciate this is a great companionship to a video game. Okay? The beauty about the TV show that's based on a video game is you can explore stuff that you were not able to explore in a video game. For example, when the Last of Us Part 1 finishes, and the gap between The Last of Us Part 1 and the Part 2, when they move into Jackson City, that small town in Wyoming with Tommy, 4 years. 4 years has passed. And there's so much of story that we can see with Joel Miller and how he settled down in the Jackson City in Wyoming with his brother, and how he raised Ellie in that small town, and how, you know, she was brought up in that town. So we can have tons of episodes throughout season 2 and season 3 to learn more about what has happened in those 4 years in Jackson City in Wyoming. And you can tell that story throughout the TV show. So the good news is this: it is good. It is surprisingly good, but it's only episode 1, okay? I mean, keep that in mind. every Sunday at 9 o'clock, they're going to air each episode. So you have to wait. And I like that. It's kind of cool. I like that, you know. Some people would prefer that they put all of the episodes and then watch it all in one sitting. But I kind of like this. I kind of like that, you know, anticipation, waiting for the next episode. So I was very surprised by this first episode. I'm playing a trailer here. And I got to tell you, Pedro Pascal is Joel Miller. Everything in this TV show feels real, feels realistic, as if this could really happen. I barely yet to see any CGI. I have barely to see any CGI in this episode 1. Everything, it's real. The sets are built for real. There's no CGI that I have noticed, that I have seen, you know, so far. Now, they didn't show any, like, specific zombies yet. They did show some zombies transforming, human zombies. And let me tell you, man, there was this one scene when Joel is carrying Sarah in his arms. The way they shot this scene, the way the stuntman playing a zombie was running on all 4 legs and then jump up again on 2 legs and then crashes through the kitchen and goes through this metal door with glass and breaks through the glass. The way they shot that scene, holy crap, someone must have gotten hurt. That stuntman probably got hurt, 100%. So the way the TV show is shot and filmed, it's expensive. This is not like a cheap production. This is some high quality, very expensive production. I'm not sure how many millions of dollars they have spent on it, but what I have seen so far on the episode 1, it's really good. And that's good. That's great. You know, that shows me that Neil Druckmann takes a great care with this franchise, you know, and that's good that he takes a great care and that he wants to make sure that it's done right. Or why even bother making it if you're not going to make it proper? But he did. I have to hand it to him. I gotta hand it to Pedro Pascal. I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, I don't know. Believe me, I had the same feeling, but you gotta watch the first episode. Forget the trailer. Trailer is tricky. You gotta see the first 1 hour and 20 minutes, and you will appreciate just how much of care and detail it took to make sure that it was done right. And they really did, and I hope that you guys will agree with me, for those of you who have seen the TV show, the first episode. So that's my review of the first episode. Again, I got to watch the second episode, third, fourth. I'll review every in each episode and I'll give you my honest opinions on it. But so far, if all of the other episodes are going to be in the same momentum as the first episode, guys, we're in for some amazing ride. We strap on a seatbelt. We're going to have an amazing ride with this one. So very happy with the first episode. I give it a 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Way up. Great job. Excellent. Congratulations, HBO Max. Congratulations, Sony Pictures. Sony PlayStation and Naughty Dog, obviously, it's also involved. So this is also a production with Sony. So it's a Warner Brothers, HBO, Naughty Dog, Sony Pictures production. So you have to remember, Sony Pictures, obviously, and Warner Brothers are 2 big giant studios. And so they can afford to make this TV show. All right, guys, I'm sorry that this is 19 minutes, 20 minutes, but I can't make it any shorter than this because there's so much that I had to say about this first episode. So I hope you like it. If you didn't like it, well, nothing I can do about that. But if you did like it, I would appreciate a thumbs up. I would appreciate you if you would share this. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know your thoughts and what you think. Have you seen it? What do you think? Did you like it? What you didn't? Tell me what you didn't like. Maybe there's something you didn't like. Tell me both positives and negatives. Okay, so having said that, if I have missed something, you can also let me know if I've missed something that I maybe didn't mention here. So let me know about that as well. Other than that, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Cheers. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.